excluding yourself, greatest 5 stand-ups of all time for you?
It's funny you said excluding yourself. Whenever I watch rappers, they always go like, "So me."
I thought I'd make it easier for you. Just get yourself out of that.
It's so fucking funny. It's like nauseating, the narcissism, and then there's something about the honesty of that I love. Well, I'm obviously fucking amazing.
But when Kanye does it, you go, yeah, that's fair. You could, that's legitimate to put yourself in the top 5, and he definitely would.
Yeah, and there's something about it's fun.
Yeah,
it's fun to listen to somebody talking shit about themselves. Top 5?
Top 5 all
right.
time.
Okay, Pryor, Carlin, Joan Rivers. This is where it gets hard. Like, who am I going to put in? Like, I just love so many people. These are just influential people for me. Cheech and Chong,
Go one more.
Sam Kinison. I'm not going one more. I got
He's going to give us the top 50.
Yeah.
I only don't throw Patrice in there just because I knew that idiot. And it would bug him. Yeah. It would bug him if he heard me and if I put him in or if I didn't. But, Mitch Hedberg, Doug Stanhope, Joe Rogan. This is why I hate doing this. Mike Epps. I know I'm going to forget somebody.
Chappelle.
Oh, obviously, Jesus Christ.
I'd love if you said, nah, not him.
Oh, Jesus Christ. It's hard to do people that are doing it right now because you're making me look back.
Yeah.
Obviously him. Jesus Christ. Me doing that is literally like when the guy wins the Oscar and he forgets to thank his wife or his mother. The fuck did I forget, Dave?
Yeah.
There was a few guys that I saw that were like no-brainers.
Yeah.
Dane was one. Like the shit that he gets through, the level that guy was killing. Dude, he put the fear in God in guys that have been doing it for 20 years. I mean, we used to do Dick Doherty, rest his soul, his comedy clubs and all, like, Drake at Mass and all these places. And Dane would have the headliner like pacing in the back.
Damn.
He was killing that hard, and he would be like, I shouldn't have to follow that. There's no, and my favorite thing, there's no jokes here. It's like, well, listen to the crowd. There's something going on here.
Right,
and he doesn't get credit. He kind of came up with like a new genre sort of style, like of it. And, it's just it's a weird fucking business, man.
It is. Some people, it's like the Bo Burnham thing. Some people figure out, not only did he figure out a new way of doing comedy, he did the MySpace shit too. I mean, he was ahead of it.
That guy is a total fucking trailblazer. What I love is all the shit he got in the beginning. He just shut everybody down, and he totally delivers. And then in the end, you find out this guy's a monster fucking talent.
Oh yeah,
that can kind of do everything.
Yeah,
in front and behind. That he made some other movie. I forget the name of it years ago, about like teenage kids in your first date.
8th grade.
Oh my God, it was a fucking.
I never saw it.
It was a great movie.
Yeah,
great fucking movie. He just totally put you back into like your first crushes and the dumb shit. Like he had like, the kid has like a date. He's like trying to comb his hair and the dumb shit that you did when you were a kid. And I saw that with my wife, and we were like that like, and I just remember thinking like, that's his first. I think that was his first movie.
Yeah,
and it was like, I mean, this is incredible.
He's a talent.
He's a talented son of a bitch.
It's interesting. People never say Kinison. I think people have forgotten Kinison. Chris Rock said Kinison was a lost.
Yeah, what about Rock? What about Rock?
Yeah, Chris Rock.
Well, some of those guys, it's like you don't need to say it because they're like all. I got to throw somebody in there that. Fucking Jim Carrey.
Yeah,
dude, Jim Carrey being Tony Clifton, reenacting the Kennedy assassination is one of the greatest pieces of physical comedy you're ever gonna fucking watch.
Quick impression, John Kennedy. Christ.
It's unfucking believable. And I got a chance when I did SNL to talk to him about it. I go, "Did you work that out?" He goes, "Nah, he just saw the car and he got in and did it." And it's just like, that's the thing. Just like, fuck, I gotta work hard. Yeah. So there you go. We did it. We talked fucking world politics right down. I know there's other people. George Goebel I liked. Going to go back to the old school guys. George Goebel.
Rodney Dangerfield.
Oh, my God. Rodney, come on.
Yeah, so good.
There's too many of them.
There you go. Bill's favorite 5 stand-ups.
Yeah.
Bill Cosby.
I'm glad you brought him up.
I mean, look,
Louis C.K.
Louis C.K. Dave Attell.
Oh,
David
David
Tell
Tell
is brilliant.
He's fucking brilliant.
You almost have to be just like, you got to do like, all right, your favorite comedians in New York City during this period. Because being then, it would have been Chappelle, Attell, Louis C.K.
Fitzsimmons is such a... so he came right before you from Boston?
Yeah, he was... as far as in Boston, there was that group of comics was... there was Rogan, Greg Fitzsimmons...
Dane?
No, Dane actually started right out of high school, so he started in 90. I thought he started in 91, but like Dane was more my generation. And who else was up there? Like Jim Loletta, Todd Parker, fucking Robbie Prince, all of that. Those are like, all of that crew. And then after that, it was I came up with like Bobby, Dane, Patrice. Gary Gulman came like right after that. Orny. And there was a great.
That's a crazy class.
Yeah, it was great. And then when we moved, and then Jersey had like Florentine and Norton and all that, and then we all just sort of came into New York at the same time, and and then all of that shit happened.
Yeah, the Patrice doc has little snippets. Thank God somebody was rolling a camera back then. There's a scene where you guys are all hanging on the sidewalk, and then Rich Voss walks up and goes, "What is this, a couple of middles?" 0 laugh, a pause, and then everybody laughed at him. How bad that bombed. And I was like, oh, that's such a great little moment that I don't feel like we have anymore.
Were fucking brutal to each other. It was so stupid. When I look back now, I mean, it's funny, but it was so stupid. We didn't write one script, one sketch. All we did was try to destroy each other's confidence. It was just such like, yeah, it was like a bunch of abused like rescue dogs all put in the same, with like one pork chop there. It was just fucking... Yeah, dude, I used to fucking have anxiety going down to the cellar, and I was just thinking of everybody. I would think like 3 fucking insults for just to kind of get. I was like, okay, if it comes at me, I'm gonna get it off me, and I'll send it this way, and but what if Bobby's not there? Bobby's not there. I can't use that. Like, you look, and you couldn't look at the lineup, like,
right?
You can, so you had no idea it was gonna be down there.
And then the worst is when you say one and they're like, "You prepared that." I did. I thought I was going to be smarter. Shit.
We missed that. We really missed out on that. Like I guess when I first got in, I remember Colin Quinn and Keith like beating up on me when I was like brand new, and I was like, "This is amazing. This is it," But my first.
And somehow it became like toxic.
I know.
This is bad, and then like you go in there now, and it's just like, I don't know what it is.
Yeah,
it's not. I mean, I'm not going to romanticize like it was all, because I was comics going to me like, why do you sit down there? Just go down and do your spot. And if I was a healthier person, I would have been like, this isn't working for me. I'm not enjoying this. Like, I'd like to come down here and feel good about myself, not feel worse. Oh my God, the amount of shirts I could never wear again.
Right.
It was just like, I remember one time. I think it was Keith. Keith was getting so trashed for what he had on. He just stood up in the middle of the pounding and just ran out. And I remember, you can do that? I didn't know you could leave. I thought you'd just sit here until it was over.
Because so many people like pretend that they don't give a fuck. Both in my business and in other businesses. I don't give a fuck. Hey, you know me. I don't give a fuck. Those people that advertise them. Like, that guy clearly, in the best way, didn't give a fuck. He really cared about people and stuff, but like he did what he wanted to do. And when he was on SNL, how big a gig that was, because there was so few channels, the internet hadn't blown up yet, and even with basic cable and everything, I mean, it was still, if you were on Saturday Night Live and you were doing Weekend Update, it was one of the most coveted gigs a comedian could have, and you were part of this lineage of, at that point it was, Chevy Chase, Jane Curtin, right on through to Dennis Miller's reign when he did it, and
did Colin Quinn come after? I think Colin came after, but it was always just like the best of the best comics that they had doing it, and continued on with Tina Fey and all of them. And no one's walking away from that job. And if some suit at NBC tells you they don't like the jokes you're doing and be funnier, you're shaking in your. I'd be like, oh fuck, I'm going to lose this big gig. I don't want to get fired. I don't want to piss these people off or whatever. I guess he was doing all those OJ jokes, and I forget how the story went. There was somebody there that knew OJ or something, and was telling Norm to back off and move on to something else. So what does Norm do? He just doubles down and he just does even more OJ jokes, which is like, the balls that took to do that. And he ended up losing the gig. He got fired. And people loved him. And he was fucking hilarious, but he didn't back down to the big fucking guy over there, and he ended up losing the gig. So, as luck would have it, I think it was Dirty Work, came out like a year and a half later or so. So he has to promote it, and he's on the press thing. So Lauren has him back and has him host the show. And I remember he went out there, and his opening joke, he just comes out. And he was just like, something like this. Yeah, it's good to be back. I actually got fired from this show about a year and a half ago because they said I wasn't funny. And now here I am. I'm hosting the show. So that means one of two things. Either I got a lot funnier or this show sucks. I got to tell you, though, becoming a dad, though, is the greatest thing that ever happened to me, man. It really is. I don't have any jokes about my kid. No, it is. And you're applauding my wife. She did all the work. Yeah, knocking a woman up, that's easy. You just have fun. Unprotected sex, bam, you knock them up, and then they have to deal with it, No matter how much they try to drag you into it, it really is, it's their show, I always say my wife, when my wife was pregnant, I would say my wife, she's pregnant. And then I always have these people like, excuse me, you're supposed to say we're pregnant? You're supposed to say we're pregnant? It's like, well, I'm not a seahorse, so I'm not fucking pregnant. My wife is pregnant. Look at her, she's putting on weight, her feet are swelling up. She's miserable, fucking miserable. I'm still doing pull-ups, I'm crushing it. While being pregnant, I'm still drinking, smoking, Sometimes have you driven out to a bar going, I'm just going to have one, all of a sudden you had like 11, right? And you're hammered, and you're thinking, but you're responsible. You're drunk, but you're responsible. You're like, God damn it, I drove my car here tonight. God damn it, I'm driving it home, all right? I'm not going to burden this place of business by taking up a parking space in this completely empty parking lot for the next 6 hours. I am not advocating drinking and driving, but I will tell you, there's nothing better than when all your friends and family know you're hammered. There's nothing better than that walk to the car. It's incredible. Women are screaming, people tearing at your clothes. You feel like you're in the Beatles. Oh my God, no! Stop! And you're like, no autographs! I'm sorry, I have to go! I'll be back! Get him off me! All my heroes are going down. Arnold Schwarzenegger, another great man. Another great man. Taken down by that gold-digging whore of a maid he's got. And I'm not saying he's not a piece of shit for doing what he did. It was a piece of shit move. But how come only he got chastised? What about the maid? Why was she called the maid that entire story? She was never called a whore, ever. Just boggled my mind. She knew his wife, first name basis, played with their kids, fucked her husband in their own goddamn bed. That's right down the checklist. First ballot Hall of Fame whore. Right there. Never. Why do you think she hooked up with him? Because of that 1987 flat top he's still rocking? The giant space between his teeth I could put this mic cord through? Or do you think maybe it's all that kindergarten cop money laying around the goddamn bedroom? What did amaze me during all of this was the amount of shit that doctors got from non-doctors / complete fucking morons. People who had to go to summer school. According to my internet research, if
if you take a little bleach, vitamin D, and aspirin. Like my favorite heckle doctors got from people was like, dude, what's the last thing they even cured? What? Fucking polio? It's like, no, HPV. They just came out with the vaccine for HPV. No more warts on your dick. We should be carrying these people around on our shoulders. Thank you for not having to make me go down to the doctor and be like, that's not a birthmark, is it? Or even worse, you're too shy to go, so you try to do self-surgery with a frozen Bud Light can. Stick it on there, freeze it on! Not listening to women at all, to just this total overcorrection that anything they fucking said means it happens, you know? They got these hashtags like, you know, believe women, right? It's a little open-ended, huh? It's just straight across the fucking board, all of them, every last fucking one of them. What about the psychos? What about the ones that key your car and light your shit on fire because you didn't fucking answer a text? What about them? How about you believe like 88% and that last 12% that's out of their fucking minds? You know, I think that's a fair percentage, wouldn't you? No? Are you too afraid to not believe? No, that's the world we're fucking living in right now. And then, you know, and then people just like, did you see that story? You can't make something like that up. I always want to be like, well, did you see Star Wars? I mean, somebody made that up. They made like fucking 15 of them, you know? People can make shit up, right? You're part of the fucking problem. Get the fuck out. Because she says I have a temper. She's like, you know, it's just not that you're trying to fix things. It's that you get frustrated, you punch the wall, the dog starts shaking. I just don't think it's a good idea. You know, you're a comedian. You should tell jokes. He's a plumber. He should plumb, right? Trying to explain to her that losing your shit is part of the process of fixing something. Everybody does that. You buy, right? Yeah. You buy something at IKEA, you get halfway through putting it together, you're like, dude, where the fuck is the fucking... Oh, there it is. There it is. There it is. But, honey, I didn't see it. I didn't see it. Why? You want to put it together? Well, then you put it together. You put together this fucking particle board piece of fucking shit. Instructions make no sense. I will buy another one. I will buy another one. I'll buy fucking 5 and smash 4 if I want to. Don't tell me what to do. Oh, go to your mother's. I don't give a shit. Jesus Christ. Yeah, what story are you going to tell? This one, right? Not the part about how I pay all the fucking bills, right? Man wouldn't be afraid to get married at this point. You know, look at Kobe. Look at the shit he's going through right now. Right? Guy's getting a divorce. His wife's going to get $70 million. Never hit a layup in her life. You know, can anybody explain these divorce settlements? Can anybody make sense of these fucking things? Tiger Woods' wife, $250 million. She's a babysitter worth $250 million fucking dollars. Somebody, go ahead. Somebody, explain, justify it. Justify it. What, he cheated on her? I don't give a fuck. Yeah, I don't give a fuck. He cheated on her. Great, the relationship's over right then. Kobe cheated, right? Shouldn't that relationship been over right then? Why did she hang around like some jaded cop for 3 years trying to get her fucking pension? All right, get that 10 years in. I don't know, maybe that's too harsh. That shit bothers me, man. Let's have a little empathy here. Put yourself in a lesbian's shoes. Who do lesbians date? Women. Who do they move in with? Women. Who do they get in relationships with? Women. Who do they eventually marry? Women. And I was thinking like, oh my God, I did that. I know what it's like to live with one of those fucking things. I know exactly what that is. It's hopeless. Trying to make them happy. Hey, I bought you the shiny thing. Did I do it right? Huh? Trying to get them to take responsibility for their actions. Not gonna happen. The best you're gonna get is I'm sorry, but I know what it's like to be winning a fucking argument. You're winning. And then they turn it around. They're crying. You're apologizing. You're thinking, what the fuck just happened? How am I losing this shit? I had you on the ropes. You feel so dumb. You gotta go for a walk. And you're just thinking, how did I lose again? And then you figure it out. It makes you feel stupid. And then you see some bald idiot with a giant orange mustache. And you're like, you know what? Why don't you take some of that shit?
How much football do you watch a week?
I watch 2 games on Sunday. I tape 3.
Right.
Then I watch the Monday game. And then Tuesday I watch one of the 3 that I taped. Wednesday I watch another one. Then I watch the Thursday night game. And then Friday I got to watch the Sunday night game. Then Saturday I watch college football.
Okay.
And it's fine.
Okay.
Because I have a simple male brain that can just sit there and just enjoy it. I can just enjoy it.
So does your wife watch any of these games with you? Does she?
No, she has the female, complex, multitasking brain. That's why they can't be happy. They just always, they're like, what is that lizard that can look at two things at once? That's what they're like.
I'm telling you, if you don't believe me, do a little people watching. Take a look at the look on the average lesbian's face, all right? I don't mean a lesbian in her 20s. She's got a whole life ahead of her. She's got Christmas in her eyes, right? I mean a lesbian about 35, 36, starting to settle into what the deal's gonna be, right? And then look across the bar, find a married guy about the same age. Look at the look on his face. Look at the look on her face. Go back to his face. It's the same fucking look. And then look at gay guys. Some of the happiest people I've ever met in my life, they're almost too happy. It's like, hey, how's it going? They're like, hi! Almost floating across the room with that lack of estrogen just yanking down your fucking dreams. I'm not saying all gay guys are just blissfully happy, but it's looking like a pretty good time to me. Lesbians are up at the bar like a bunch of jaded cops. That's all fucking bullshit. What the fuck was I thinking? U-hauling after 10 days, moving in. What the fuck was I thinking? She's crazy!
I gotta tell you, the way white women somehow hijack the woke movement, generals around the world should be analyzing this. The woke movement was supposed to be about people of color, and it was about that for about 8 seconds. And then somehow, white women swung their Gucci-booted feet over the fence of oppression and stuck themselves at the front of the line. My name is Burr, with my SUV and my heated seats. You have no idea what it's like to be me. Trash and white guys, the nerve. Where's the camera? The nerve of you white women. You guys stood by us toxic white males through centuries of our crimes against humanity. And occasionally, when you wanted to sneak off and hook up with a black dude, if you got caught, you said it wasn't consensual. Yeah, that's what you did. So why don't you shut up, sit down next to me, and take your talking to?
Every relationship has the person that will take the trash bag out of the trash barrel and do a little, we're good, tie it off, and then leave it slumped against the counter like it took two behind the ear and a mob hit. And then there's the person that actually picks it up and takes it out to the curb at night and puts it in the trash can, right? My wife's hilarious, man. I love her, but she's got some of the worst excuses ever. I'm like, why don't you ever take out the trash? She goes, I would, I'm just afraid of coyotes. I'm afraid of the coyotes. It's like, so am I. So am I. They're rabid dogs. They hunt in packs of 2s and 3s. You don't do it because you don't want to do it because you know I'm going to do it. Just get the fuck away from me, please. No, I'm telling you.
No means no, that's another one. No means no. It's like, no, it doesn't. All right? Look, no means no. No, that means no. All right, but no, stop it. What are you doing? Oh my God. You're being so bad. Stop it. No. Yeah, that's not a fucking no. That means I want to do it, but I'm afraid you're going to judge me, so I'm just going to make it look like it was your idea so you don't figure out that I've already performed this act with 40 other fucking people. Right? But then you go to court and you get a bad read and there's some guy reading it. Your Honor, she said no. Stop it. What are you doing? You're being so bad. Yeah, and you're just sitting there like, she didn't fucking say it like that. She didn't say it like that.
That's one of my favorite things.
It'd be great if you were a movie critic.
My wife has such a big heart, and we're always watching TV, and she's forever getting teared up, and I am laughing my off. Like she used to watch The Biggest Loser, and these fat people would be crying about all the cookies and burgers they were eating, and they were crying like they lost a dog or something. No, most of the world is starving. That's why. Like I went to like India, and I saw this level of poverty that I just maybe want to adopt every kid over here. And then you just come back to America, and there's these slovenly people. I just can't stop eating Oreos. And it was just so hilarious.
It was a horrible thing that happened, and you should be feeling all of those feelings, including anger. So, but just walk away.
That's what he should do, is just walk away. Although, I would be tempted to pull a female move and get some revenge, and I would tell her dad, you know, what he...
You know what a you raised?
You know what a
you're in love with? That's half your DNA. Did she get that from your f***ing wife? No.
No, yeah, there's
don't do
need
that.
to go. There's no need
No,
to
because
insult
then
your
he'll look
mother
like an
into it.
asshole, and then he'll understand why she did it. I'm trying to inflict the most pain here. Every time I think feminism has kind of like died off, you know, like a band you can't stand. They haven't put out an album in a few years. You're like, oh, good. Did they quit? Did they break up? And all of a sudden they come out with some more shit. You're like, fuck, what is it now? I'm just fucking with you. Feminism doesn't bug me. It doesn't bother me. I'm not afraid of it or anything like that. For the simple fact that I know it's gonna fail, you know? I take comfort in that. I do. I'm not rooting for it because I know it doesn't like me. Do you know why I think it's not going to survive? Why it's not going to be successful anyways? Because they still need men's help to make it happen. I don't understand it. I don't understand why women just can't work with each other and make this shit happen. They keep coming to us like, you more men need to care about this issue. Where are the men to stand up and say something? Like, why do I have to fucking say something? This is your fucking problem. Like that Colin Kaepernick guy, right? You knew when he was like protesting during the national anthem. He got about halfway through that. People like, my brother's fighting in Iraq, you fucking piece of shit. And it's just like, buddy, nobody is saying your brother isn't in Iraq fighting. You're not listening. This is about police brutality. My brother's a firefighter. He watched 9/11 on television. No, buddy. Nobody's saying that your brother's not a firefighter. I got a bone spur in my heel. I can still stand up during the fucking song. Buddy, nobody is saying you can't see a fucking podiatrist, all right? You're not listening. That's what it became. It went from not listening to women to just believe women, right? And then, and then people just like, did you see that story? Did you read the story? You can't make something like that up. I always want to be like, well, did you see Star Wars? I mean, somebody made that up. They made like fucking 15 of them, you know? People can make shit up, right? You're part of the fucking problem. Get the fuck out, you know?
Wait.
2, 3, 4.
Oh,
yeah, he
man,
does.
I should have stayed in that bitch. I had a pair of 6.
I had a pair of 7s.
These bastards.
You want
2, 3, 4,
Vodka?
7.
Yes,
What do you want? What do you want?
Vodka.
Oh, I got a deal though, right?
Yeah. Oh, you got a deal.
Wait, can I deal for him if he makes me a drink?
What do you want?
You want?
Send this deck
I want a whiskey.
Hey, Morgan, you want Red Bush? Swear to God, that's the name of it.
Is that what it is?
Swear to God.
Yeah, it's
All right.
You wanted vodka?
Yes,
Weird.
please.
You know, I was reading a little bit about you, and it says that you have a tendency to kind of go with your first thought.
Yeah.
Because reading makes you sleepy.
That's right. And my first thought is this is the best week to be here, the week before the Super Bowl.
That is so true.
Before all the whores fly in, you know?
Yeah.
Just want to get out.
Wow.
Just want to get out of here before that. What is true? This is like the Oscars for prostitutes.
Okay, all right.
This entire week.
Let's remember we're G-rated here, folks. All right, so we're going to go back to a safer subject because, as you know,
I'm sorry, I didn't realize.
this is National Blueberry Pancake Day.
By the way, I was in the doctor's office this morning. I'm fine, but just FYI, little medical note. I had black poo.
Black or bloody?
Well,
black is bloody.
Black is
unless
bloody.
you
That's
take,
it.
unless you ingest bismuth, which is in Pepto-Bismol, then you're
Over the weekend, I had black poo.
or iron.
Yeah, and I
Wait a minute.
yeah.
So if somebody said I had blood in my stool, they don't actually see blood; they see it's black.
Right. So the higher up in your GI,
Wait,
the blacker
wait.
it is.
What sort of background do you have?
I was a nurse.
Oh, okay. So
Wow.
because you really came off like I was like. No, this happens a lot on podcasts. All of a sudden, I'm listening to a comedian like telling me how my liver works. I'm just like, wait a minute, who the fuck are you again? Okay, I'm sorry. All right, so you're a nurse. All right.
Yeah.
Tell them
so
about.
So the higher up on your GI that the bleeding happens, let's say it's if in your
Don't
stomach.
talk shop. What's GI?
Gastrointestinal.
Gastrointestinal. Okay.
Yeah. The higher up there.
A pilot.
that-
Just kind of went in that direction.
But you actually grew up outside of Boston, right?
Yeah, I grew up in Linfield when I was really little, and then from about 1976 on, I lived in Canton, Mass.
Ah, very nice. I'm also from Massachusetts.
Oh, all right.
Not that you care, but I just wanted to let you know
Yeah, I mean,
that.
we're not going to hang out or anything.
Yeah, I know. There's absolutely no shot of that. That much I know.
All right. Tuck.
Varsågod.
Here to do. Here to do?
What do you say?
Her to do.
Her to do?
Her to do, is that what they say? How are you?
Of course.
Brah, that's all I got.
Welcome to Sweden.
Well, thank you. Thank
You have
for
been here
having me.
before, right?
Yes, I have. I came here in August of 2009. My first time ever coming to Sweden. And I got to tell you, I got to go with Hitler on this one. You guys are some good-looking sons of bitches. Yes.
Museum?
Yeah, that's the, that's one of the founding fathers who said that all men are created equal as long as they're white. Right? Isn't that what it is? One of those guys?
No, it's not. It's
Wasn't he
the
on
Quaker Oats man.
I thought
all
that
right?
was the
And we have, I think,
bicentennial Fruit Loops guy.
no, it's not. But speaking of that, let's see. Do we have another one, or is that it?
Oh, that is Johnny Mathis. It looks like the cover of that Christmas album he had. No?
Sorry.
It's like, where were all those racists the last two election when they could have voted against a black guy? They were fine with that, but this white woman is going to take my jet skis, right? I love this dude texting for the entire interview. It's just trying to keep the attentions of millennials. It's like impossible. Look at him. He's already got the chains. He's probably got his own record label. He's like making deals as we speak. He's got championship rings on. I don't know what you're doing, dude, but I want your life, man. You're crushing it.
So are you in the process?
I cannot get comfortable in this fucking chair. This is just like one of the worst things. This should be like in a museum, is like the prototype. This is what, this was the awful level of comfort. We went from a log to this, and then eventually they got cushions.
You know, that's you. That's the dark side of you, that you didn't want to say something nice. I get it. But me, I'm sort of the Jimmy Fallon.
This is your inner child, and your mother didn't hug you, and now you're putting it on me. Because I didn't give you a compliment at the right thing?
Yeah.
Somebody's got to go first in the compliment game. So what are you saying? I always have to go first? That's kind of egotistical.
It's nice
isn't
if
it?
you go first
Oh,
for
okay.
a change.
Well, I'll tell you what.
I said nice things last time about you. You could have said that last time you were here when you were hungover. F is for family this Friday.
Laura Dern, Sam Rockwell, Justin Long.
Look at you.
David Koechner.
Look at you.
That's right. That's
Look
right.
at
Got
you.
some big names.
Heavy hitters.
Heavy hitters. Swinging the pipe.
Bill Burr doing big boy things.
Look at him.
Look
all
at
dressed
you.
up doing the town.
Look at you. We'll take a break here. Thank you, Billy.
Thank you, Dan. You know what? I love your glasses.
Thank you, Bill.
See, that was first. Now you're supposed to say something about my jacket. It's from the Han Solo collection.
But you have to, we always fight. We fight often.
No, because I go on stage and then you try to correct my jokes.
I don't try to correct
yeah, you
your
do.
jokes
You're like,
sometimes.
but what if you said if the woman did this because of this? And
That was one time, and I admit I was being aggressive.
Micro.
It was a microaggression.
Microaggressive, yeah.
Sometimes I read interviews with you, and you talk about everything you hate, and if you added it all up, you would get me. But somehow we love each other. Am I correct in saying that? I think that you love me. Because every time we fight, as I'm driving home, I get a text from you that says, you know I love you, right? And I go, yeah, I love you too.
That isn't me. I've never said, you know,
Are you fucking serious?
Well, my memory isn't good, but I don't remember doing that.
I'll show you.
What, you save
I
them?
can't believe you're... No, text just exists. Yeah, I press save on my text. What kind of phone do you have?
No, I like delete them after a while. What are you saving it for?
You delete texts?
Yeah.
Oh, I never do because all our friends die and then it's all you have left.
How many have you had?
Die?
I'm up. I counted.
I have a huge list.
I'm 30. 30.
Yeah.
Get something funny out of that.
That's what you do. I'm not.
This phone, I swear to God. Dude, the day Jesus comes back, if he ever does, if he's even a real person, like 90% of people are going to miss it. They're going to walk right. He's going to be walking on water and they're immediately walking by him. They're not even going to see it. Oh, yeah, and there's a drop-off in fame for Jesus at that point. Everyone was paying attention. Now no one gives a shit. Oh, there we go. No, but now this is like the ego one. Now I'm going to be sitting above you.
Yeah,
you got to come with two. It's fine. It's fine. Sir, the one comedy through line that's working here is me shitting on this chair. Why would you take that from me? You're just totally going against the grain. I understand it. But you got on camera, so I think you get paid, even though this is online.
And he also had a zillion kids, so I mean, yeah.
Really? How many siblings do you have?
I don't know, dude. The internet's too fucking weird to give out all that information.
Oh, you don't even want to say how many because you're afraid that it will
Yeah,
somehow
by all means,
compromise your
keep talking
privacy.
about it. Is there any way you can cut this out? I'm honest, dude. Like,
Seriously?
Yeah, no, dude. There's fucking lunatics out there.
Okay.
Whoa.
Off the air, I'll cut.
All right.
Jeez. I love how surprised he is. Jeez.
Well,
There's
you can mention the amount.
There's absolutely crazy people out there.
Yeah. No. Whew. All right. I don't know why that got so flat on my part.
So your Christian background is part of the show. Or at
Yes,
least
and
two
I wanted
episodes.
to talk to you about Jesus after this.
Well, the only reason why I bring it up is some people thought maybe you went a little too far. You know.
As far as what?
Well, they thought that maybe you were being disrespectful to the Christian religion.
Who did?
I'm telling you, you need to Google.
Oh, good Lord.
So did you feel
that's
you were
probably
being
some-
disrespectful, or just you were just having fun with some of the crucifixes and stuff like that?
I don't even know what I mean, we did maybe 2 jokes about that?
Yeah, exactly.
Don't you think the Catholic Church went a little too far? More so than my cartoon.
All right, listen,
A couple of jokes. I know this is a morning show. You can't bring up all those crimes.
You know what?
Where
Technically,
they just sort of kept moving them around. You know, like those killer whales at SeaWorld. After it kills a trainer, they'll then move it up to Seattle. They don't give them their background.
all right, I'm not totally following.
It's been a tough week here, you know, for obvious reasons. We lost Norm Macdonald this week, which was just, you know, I had no idea that he was even sick. And he's a guy that I knew a little bit. I was definitely friendly with him. If we saw each other, we said hello and we shot the shit, but it wasn't like someone that I talked to on the phone or anything. And I was such a huge fan of his, and I would just always end up running into him. And he just always had that smile on his face. Like, as you talk to him, he would have that smile. Just a really great, warm guy. And I remember I was trying to think what Norm's story to tell you. This one isn't necessarily funny. It was just sort of random. I went out to go see Bill Cosby in concert right before all the bullshit happened out in Pasadena. And he played this theater out there, which interestingly enough was where they had the 25th anniversary of Motown celebration, which is the first place Michael Jackson publicly did the moonwalk. I saw Bill Cosby at that theater. And I remember they had it all set up where, like, they almost built him like a little living room. He had like an Archie Bunker type chair, a little square rug, and then like a side table where he put his water. And he just came walking out, and there was the mic. There was no mic stand. It was just sitting on the chair. And he just came out. You know how he kind of walked a little bent over? Came walking out, waved to everybody, sat down, picked up the mic, and for like almost 2 hours, just, you know, hour and a half, just killed. Just fucking killed. Had the crowd in the palm of his hand. Masterclass of stand-up, right? So I leave with my lovely wife, and I go out front, and who's standing there is Norm Macdonald. He was like, hey, Bill, hey, how you doing? And I talked. It was like, no, what's going on? I was so psyched that he knew my name and all of that stuff, and I think I had met him before. And then we just stood there talking about comedy and how amazing it was to see Bill Cosby and how good he still was. Like I said, this was before all the bullshit happened. And my admiration for the guy, it went even higher. That, you know, I understood why I was there, but I thought Norm was so good that he didn't need to be there. And he was still there, still trying to learn and everything. And I was thinking, like, wow, this is why this guy is so fucking amazing. And, you know, he's just was somebody that you couldn't just watch one video of him. Like, you know, I was saying to Verzi how, like, guys like Ric Flair, Norm Macdonald, there's a few people, if you click on their videos, it's like, say goodbye to the next 2 hours of your life, because everything that they did is so interesting and so different and so funny. And one of my favorite Norm Macdonald things that he ever did you know, because so many people like pretend that they don't give a fuck, you know, both in my business and in other businesses. You got, I don't give a fuck. Hey, you know me, I don't give a fuck. You know, those people that advertise them. Like, that guy clearly, in the best way, didn't give a fuck. He really cared about people and stuff, but like he did what he wanted to do. And when he was on SNL, how big a gig that was, because there was so few channels, the internet hadn't blown up yet, and even with basic cable and everything, I mean, it was still, if you were on Saturday Night Live and you were doing Weekend Update, it was one of the most coveted gigs a comedian could have. And you were part of this lineage of, you know, at that point it was, you know, Chevy Chase, Jane Curtin, right on through to Dennis Miller's reign when he did it. And, you know, did Colin Quinn come after? I think Colin came after, but it was always just like the best of the best comics that they had doing it, and continued on with Tina Fey and all of them. And no one's walking away from that job. And if some suit at NBC tells you they don't like the jokes you're doing and be funnier, you know, you're shaking in your, I'd be like, oh, fuck, you know, I'm going to lose this big gig. I don't want to get fired. I don't want to piss these people off or whatever. I guess he was doing all those OJ jokes, and somebody, I forget how the story went. There was somebody there that knew OJ or something and was telling Norm to back off and move on to something else. So what does Norm do? He just doubles down and he just does even more OJ jokes, which is like, you know, the balls that took to do that. And he ended up losing the gig. He got fired. And people loved him and he was fucking hilarious, but he, you know, he didn't back down to the big fucking guy over there, and he ended up losing the gig. So, you know, as luck would have it, I think it was Dirty Work, came out like a year and a half later or so. So he has to promote it, and he's on the press thing. So Lauren has him back and has him host the show. And I remember he went out there, and his opening joke, he just comes out. And he was just like, something like this. Yeah, it's good to be back. You know, I actually got fired from this show about a year and a half ago because they said I wasn't funny. And now here I am. I'm hosting the show. So that means one of two things. Either I got a lot funnier or this show sucks. And then he had that big shit-eating grin on his face, and he started laughing. And then he proceeded to do a bunch of OJ jokes. And it was just like that fucking thing about him. And the whole time, I just felt the whole time when people were fucking with him or whatever and trying to take what he had, he always just still had that smile on his face, and he just still did exactly what he wanted to do. And I got so much respect for him. And I feel so fortunate that I got to see him live. So I remember, oh my God, I saw him right after 9/11. The Aspen after 9/11. Aspen Comedy Festival was this big fucking festival that was always a nightmare to get in and out of. Every year it would snow and people would get stuck in Denver, or you get snowed in, you couldn't get out. It was a fucking nightmare. And then as a comedian, you had to perform. It was like a mile higher than fucking Denver, and no one could breathe, and you're performing in front of all these super fucking rich people in front of industry, and you just go up and you would eat your fucking balls, and you're like, why did I come out here? And I remember I saw Joe Rogan do a full set that I still remember, and then I saw Norm Macdonald. It was at the same theater, and I remember Norm came out, and he was doing bits on racial profiling and all of this stuff. I'm not going to butcher the guy's bits, but I remember just watching that full set, and I was like, this guy is one of the greatest comedians I've ever seen in my life. And I thought that every time I saw him, and I don't know, it was a pleasure to know the guy. even on a little level. Just a massive, massive, massive loss to not have him around. And especially now with all of this stupid fucking cancel culture horseshit that is going on, which has way, way, way overstepped its bounds. As it always happens, no matter who's behind it, it always ends up, starting off with something that makes sense, and then that becomes the overreach, and then it just becomes like, hey, is it me, or did you literally become what the fuck you were trying to stop? And we, I don't know, as a comedian, really needed a guy like Norm out there to be eviscerating it and making fun of it and still doing what the fuck you want to do. So if there's any other young comics out there, if you want to see how it's done, watch that guy, because he was the real deal.
Then it occurred to me, I haven't gotten funnier. The show has gotten really bad. So yeah, I'm funny compared to, well, you'll see later.
I've noticed black people have the genius to put the curse word after they say the race of the person, where white dudes, we always put it in front. And if we would just make that little adjustment, we could save so many careers, so many jobs could be saved in the white community if we would just put it after. You never notice that in conversation? You hear a black guy being like, man, I was standing there, this Asian motherfucker came in, he starts talking about, you don't even hear it. You're just sitting there, oh, what did this Asian motherfucker do? I would love to hear the rest of this story, right? Dude, I would tell the exact same story, right? I'm standing there, right? This fucking Asian comes in, right? Everybody's all like, whoa, whoa, hey, easy, Jesus, dude. What year is it, It's like, dude, I just said what he said. I just preempted the fuck. That's all I did. He suggested he's hooking up with people's mothers. I'm not even doing that. It's just a quick, I got it out of the way.
You guys saw the Pope died? You saw that, right? Everyone's flipping out, man. I thought that was a good thing. I was like happy for him, man. He was in horrible health. You know what I mean? Everybody just wanted the guy to keep hanging on. And people are still flipping, oh, God, I think he's gonna die. It's like, well, I think he's gonna go to heaven. I mean, it's gotta be better than that shit. So they got a new Pope now. They picked another old white dude, And they were actually, in the running was this black dude from Nigeria, right? They were actually considering making him the Pope. And I was kind of hoping he was gonna win, Not because I give a fuck either way. I just wanted to see all the black comics doing bits like the next day, like, oh, white people scared now. White people is scared now. Yeah, the Pope is black and shit. Couldn't you just feel it? That was like a half-hour material that went out the fucking window the second they picked another white dude. It was endless. Pope-mobile's gonna be pimped out, and you better not be shooting at this Pope. The black Pope will be shooting back at your ass. Because when white people get shot, etc., etc.
So I sit down, and I'm watching this documentary as a white dude, which is what I am. I'm looking out my white head, watching this white shit. It's coming back into my white eyes, getting whiter by the fucking second. Right? Now, my wife, on the other hand, she's black, right? Now, I hate saying that because it makes it seem like I'm going to start doing some stupid comparison jokes. Those dumb white guy, black guy jokes. And it's always like the white guy's like, oh, Jesus, I gotta do my taxes. Can this chair hold me? The black guy's always like, you need to loosen up. You gotta relax, man. You just gotta let it happen. All right? It's always the same stupid fucking joke. I hate those jokes, because they're easy. And it's been my experience that it's just not true. 15 years of being with her, there's really no difference. Because at the end of the day, it's a woman. All right? It's gonna be the same fights. I don't give a fuck who you're with. I'm not gonna lie to you. There might be more head movement and hand gestures with different races of women. Possibly an index finger jabbing at your forehead, whatever the fuck that is. But at the end of the day, it's the same fights. What's going on with us? You need to work on this. Why don't we communicate better, right? So she starts watching this shit as a black person, right?
And she's seeing all the racism, obviously, that I'm seeing. But she was catching all this subtle shit that I was too white to see, but I knew I was missing it, because I just kept hearing her huffing and puffing, just sitting next to me being like, and I'm just sitting there like, okay, somebody did something. I don't know what just happened, but I don't think that was good. So I've been seeing this girl recently, this black girl, right? She lives up in Harlem, you know, gone out like 3-4 times, you know. First time we hung out in like the Village area in New York, you know, which is sort of like a racially mixed area. So she was cool, you know what I mean? Second time we hung out was more like Midtown, you know. Then the third time, she called me at like 3:30 in the morning, and she wanted me to come up to her apartment, right? So it's 3:30 in the morning, she lives in Harlem, I look how I look, so it's a fucking situation. Yeah, because you know the deal, right? Basically, a white dude feels comfortable up to about like 98th, 99th Street, you know what I'm saying? The second the streets start getting into like triple digits, like 100, 101st Street, start getting like a little asthma, like, oh, fuck, it's starting to get a little high up here. You feel that little tightness in your chest? Can you feel that? 106th Street, you're like leaning on shit, like, dude, where'd all the cabs go? How come there's no taxis up here? Dude, what's a bodega? I don't know what that is. Let's get the fuck out of here.
Shut the door. Get me some water, though. Come back. Jesus Christ. Yes, I'm a man. I asked you to do something. You're a woman. You go and you do it and you don't ask questions.
Phil, I swear to God.
So anyways, like I was saying, they're sitting there bitch moaning and complaining about all the stuff they don't have, but you know, and it's like, you fucking outlive us. Really? You outlive us. Well, you know what? You have a birthday coming up. I know exactly what I'm getting you. Big bag of Fritos. You're an asshole. Yeah, so they're always bitch moaning and complaining about what they don't have, right? You know, do they ever look around and see what they do have? A whole fucking platoon of shoes, huh, that their guy paid for.
I'll tell you what I have.
Right?
Bag for a husband.
Oh, snap. 12 to 6 right there, baby. Hey, Nia, you know why I make more an hour than you? Because I'm better than you.
Actually, I have this black dude moved in my building, man. Lives on the same floor as me. He's one of these dudes. Every time, he's hilarious. Every time he says some shit, right after he's done saying this, he repeats like the most important part of like the previous sentence. It's hilarious. Everything he said will be like, yo, my man came in, he put that on the table. Put it on the table! Yo, this country's at war, son. War! I'm just looking at my friend like, dude, did you hear him the first time? Because I heard him the first time. I was smiling, I was nodding. Actually, I got a couple of friends of African persuasion. I got to get rid of them, man. I got to admit to you. I'm finding I'm spending too much money on clothes hanging out with them. It's like every time they go out, they got all brand new shit on. So when I show up with my white version of brand new, which is, you know, I ironed the shit, right? I ironed it, right? It's new. They just start trashing me. And I don't give a shit what fucked up color their shirt is. They got a pair of shoes to match it and a hat. It's like a rule or something. Because God forbid you wear the same shirt within a 10-day period. One of them's going to notice. All of a sudden just look at you funny like, this motherfucker's got the same shit he had on last Tuesday. Actually funny, you know what? That's actually how I judge black guys now. When I first came to the city, like, all black people scared me. No, I was like the typical white dude from like the suburbs, you know what I mean? Had no frame of reference, you know? My only frame of reference with black people was like those, remember those early 90s gangster rap videos? Throw the LA riots in there, man. It was horrible PR. I'm watching the videos. Look, he's got a nice car, he's got all the women, and he's still fucking mad. These black dudes are never happy. But after 10 years of living in the city, this is how I narrow it down. Whether a black dude scares me or not. Black dudes with dirty sneakers scare the fucking shit out of me. I figured out in my head, because I know from hanging out with them, that's the last shit that they're gonna let go. The immediate shit that they have on. So I think, you know, if his sneakers are fucked up, that means his life is fucked up. Every time he leaves his building, the whole neighborhood, oh, shit! Everyone starts making fun of him. He's on the train in a bad mood. I kind of have this howdy-doody, kind of mug me kind of face. I'm not saying something's going to happen. I'm just saying, I'm paying attention. Let's be back here down the south, man. I had a real weird experience last time I came down here. I was in Nashville, right? Sort of an awkward social situation, right? I'm sitting at this bar. There's this white dude sitting like 2 stools away. I don't know him. He doesn't know me. And that Terrell Owens story was in like sports news. So I try to make conversation. I'm like, man, look at this guy. This guy just signed a $40 million contract. He's already bitching, man. How much money do you need to make? And the dude looks at me. He's like, you know what I say? And then he looked over his shoulder, which I now know is the telltale sign that the N-word is coming, and it's coming hard. Oh yeah, it's not gonna be pronounced with the A, it's gonna be with the R, and he hit the R, he like stuck the landing. There was like a dismount, Klan members high-fiving in the background, like doing the wave. Just out of nowhere. So now, immediately, I'm looking over my shoulder like, dude, what the hell are you doing? You know what I mean? I'm waiting for like this hail of black fists to come raining down on top of me. I hate when people do stuff like that. That dude made me part of like a potential ass-kicking that I had nothing to do with. You don't do shit like that. He just had that word, hot potato, just threw it in my lap. Trying to pass it down to the next white dude. I hate when people do that, man. You know, it's like, dude, feel me out first. Ask some questions. Do you like to fish? Have you ever fucked your sister, right? I start rattling off answers, then you go old school. You give me a pamphlet, you tell me about your militia. Don't just dive into it. That dude was one of the angriest people I ever met. I should have known that word was coming, because he was just watching Terrell, right? Anytime I would bring up, look at man, that guy's talking trash, he would just like flip out. He won't shut up! You know those people get like so mad they're not even looking at you? Their eyes are up, you just shut up and play the game! You know what's funny? I don't even like Terrell, but now I love the guy. Because every time I see him talking trash, I know this idiot in Nashville is just losing his mind, like kicking over his kitchen TV. Shut the fuck up!
When did you start shaving your head? It looks good.
When did I start shaving? Well, I shaved it. I had my first special. I had it shaved.
Really? I didn't.
Yeah.
When I saw you in New York
I'm
for the
glad,
Patrice
I'm glad
thing.
you liked it. I see you
like
losing
it.
the roof there in the back.
Yeah,
You'll be
a
right
little
there
bit,
with me.
little bit. I'll be there
We'll do a buddy cop show.
Exactly.
Right? Two balding old guys
Exactly.
going after some hairy criminal. I'm not a big fan of Steve Jobs, personally.
What are you talking about?
I don't know. I just don't understand what the big deal was with that guy. I don't get it.
He's like Edison. I don't know. He invented all this stuff to everybody. What are you talking about?
Did he? Did he sit down and like, I'm going to invent the iPhone, and just sat there soldering, possibly welding, right? Didn't he have like a crew of guys helping him out?
Sure, maybe he did.
So why, when he went to those nerd fests, didn't he have like a chorus of scientists behind him who helped him out too? He walked out like he was Tesla. Like tapping into electricity.
I'm not with you.
I think he just kind of like told people what to invent. Like he just kind of came in like, I want my whole music collection in that phone. Get on it! And then all these nameless, faceless guys made it happen.
Yeah.
And then they have the big nerd concert, and he goes out there by himself. No belt, you know, sneakers on. I just didn't buy it.
When you took it out on Philly, because they were a bad crowd.
Oh, yeah.
Your famous rant, which you've since said you like Philadelphia, and that wasn't the issue. You were just giving...
People in Philly don't even remember. Basically, if you haven't seen it, I was doing a show for the Opie and Anthony radio program, and they had this show called The Traveling Virus, and we were doing these, like, 10,000 seaters, and we went to Philly, and they're notorious for booing people, and they booed the first guy off stage, and I went on, like, 3 hours after that. So by the time I got up there, it was a complete shit show. And I don't know. They started booing, and I snapped and decided I wasn't going to leave, and I just attacked everything that they loved.
Can women be funny?
Yeah, of course. Will you guys just fucking grow up and just sit down and write your own horse shit and come up with it? Start your own fucking show. Have your own award show. Quit waiting around for other people to do shit for you. That's the fucking problem. If you guys had your own big club and I was standing outside of it, you'd never fucking let me in. I'd start my own shit. You guys got to start your own shit. You got brains in there, right?
Yes, absolutely.
So write your own shit and quit your fucking whining. We're all eating a giant shit sandwich out here. Nobody cares. I don't care. Well, when was the last time you went on stage and you killed so hard the person after you bombed? If you're fucking doing that on a regular basis, people are going to notice regardless of what you have between your legs.
Yeah, at some point I was going to make a point here. That's why I keep looking at here, and I just realized I'm blocking myself out of the camera. I love that you have the jib camera for this, like it's an action movie. Let's swoop in at these two guys sitting in these unbelievably small chairs. I literally feel like I'm going to fall onto the floor. This is insane. You really went all out with the audience, though. They got full-size adult chairs. Are these like from the 20s before they had like horse tranquilizers in our food and everybody was like 5'1"? Yeah,
And nothing's making you mad? Nothing.
Oh, things upset me. Yes. I don't know. I don't want to. Look, I fly a lot, and there's this whole new thing of generation of people that take their socks and their shoes off on the plane. You got to look at their smelly feet, and then they'll literally stand up and they will walk into a commercial airline bathroom. Yeah, use it and then walk and sit back down again.
That's not right.
Yeah, if I was a dictator, those people would be eliminated. I love this dude texting for the entire interview. It's just trying to keep the attentions on millennials. It's like impossible. Look at him. He's already got the chains. He's probably got his own record label. He's like making deals as we speak. He's got championship rings on. I don't know what you're doing, dude, but I want your life, man. You're crushing it.
So are you in the process?
I cannot get comfortable in this fucking chair. This is just like one of the worst things. This should be like in a museum, is like the prototype. This is what... This was the awful level of comfort. We went from a log to this, and then eventually they got cushions. It's another guy looking at his phone. I swear to God. Dude, the day Jesus comes back, if he ever does, if he's even a real person, like 90% of people are going to miss it. They're going to walk right. He's going to be walking on water, and they're immediately walking by him. They're not even going to see it. Oh, yeah, and there's a drop-off in fame for Jesus at that point. Everyone was paying attention. Now no one gives a shit. Oh, there we go. No, but now this is like the ego one. Now I'm going to be sitting above you.
Yeah,
you got to come with two. It's fine. It's fine. Sir, the one comedy through line that's working here is me shitting on this chair. Why would you take that from me? You're just totally going against the grain. I understand it. But you got on camera, so I think you get paid, even though this is online. You see, Sugar Shea Mosley, one of the greatest boxers of all time, he's losing his championship belt in a divorce. Losing, yeah. It's like you're trying to break a man. Why does she want those? Right?
Gonna break a man.
They go with their shoes. You know? No, and I love how when you get a divorce, all of a sudden it costs like 50 grand a month to give a kid Fruit Loops. Right? These guys, I'm telling you, there is an epidemic of gold-digging whores in this country, and it is just not being addressed. We recently got a pit bull, which I know a lot of people don't like because they ate a couple of kids. I understand. They're great dogs, unless you're a bad owner. If you're a psycho, which I am, you can mess them up. I didn't realize that dogs feed off your vibes. No. Like if you're cool, if you're chill, they're chilling. If you're sleeping, they're sleeping. But if you're a psycho like me and you're watching the game on TV and you're screaming at the ref like, you gotta be shitting me! I didn't realize the dog was in the corner being like, yeah, you gotta be shitting.
Being a mother is the hardest job out there.
Most difficult job, and Oprah said that.
Oprah said that, yeah. Has your opinion on that phrase changed at all since you've had a kid?
No. It's not the most difficult job on the planet. It just isn't. Dude, I did roofing in July. As a redhead, I almost died. There's people that work on like oil. What was that movie that guy made? The fucking, they drill oil. What is it?
There Will Be Blood?
There Will Be Blood. Out in the ocean, they would drill. I can never remember the names.
Deepwater.
Mark Wahlberg was
Deepwater Horizon, yeah.
Those guys were working on an oil rig. The fucking thing blows up. They're on fire. They got to jump into water that's on fire. Salty water into their wounds. You got to swim out of that oil and fire and then tread water, praying to God that the Coast Guard is going to get there before the sharks do. Now talk to me about a toddler. Oh, he was so fussy today. He wouldn't eat his peas.
So what's up with all these white kids now walking around trying to act like they're like gangster rappers? It's irritating. It's like everywhere I go, man, I figure I'd just be here in the city where you got a good mix of people. I'll be like in the middle of Kansas, though. Like the whitest state ever. There'll be some howdy-doody looking white kid like me. I'm thinking this is one of my peeps. Somebody I can have a conversation with. All of a sudden he's just like, yo, what's up, kid? What's up, kid? I just want to be like, nothing much, Brad.
You know, you keeping it real in Wichita? How the fuck are you gonna be a gangster in a state, say, like Nebraska? You know, what do you be like, all hardcore about your crop? Just in there, yo, shit was crazy, you know what I'm saying? Motherfucking corn wasn't growing, motherfucking scarecrow was tipping over and shit, you know what I'm saying, son? I just wanna be like, dude, you're white. Go to the Gap, give into it. Buy some Dockers, and come home.
I've been going to gun stores, and
Oh my God!
and these rednecks are all telling me the same thing because I didn't grow up with guns. So they're just going, all right, you never had a gun, you want to get yourself a shotgun. It's got a great spread. That's what they keep saying. It's got a great spread. You don't even got to aim it. You got a problem, you just sort of whip around. You get the guy, right? I'm sitting there, I'm like, dude, I just want to shoot the guy. I don't have to do like a bunch of drywall work. Like, reframe my diploma. So.
Again. Why can't Mom make dinner?
Ask her. She's the one who abandoned her post. Now after doing all the lady work, I gotta leave to go do some man work. And is anybody gonna get me flowers and tell me I'm beautiful? No. No one's out there marching for old Frank Murphy. He just watches the sands of his miserable life gather at his feet while his wife, the modern woman, throws on a pantsuit every morning and just... There's my worker bee.
What is your go-to dance move when challenged?
Waiting for the director to say cut.
That was my go-to dance move.
Well, I'll tell you, when I saw my kid, it wasn't, I didn't have like, everybody was like, you're gonna burst down crying, you're gonna blah, blah, blah. I was like scared of it. Like I was just sitting there like, hey, yeah, buddy, like I didn't want to touch it. And then like afterwards, they give it to me and I'm hanging with her for the first time and I'm feeling nothing. And I literally put my head down on the bassinet. I'm going, oh my God, I'm a serial killer. Like I don't feel things.
Fool yourself because I was like Googling the show.
No, God knows.
I was Googling the show.
I get trashed enough on Twitter. Do you know when I did the show last night? This is how like the millennials are, right? Somebody, I was wearing this exact same thing. You know, I'm on the road, so I got a nice stain on my shirt. So I was wearing this exact same thing. I go on Twitter, and somebody wrote, you know, Bill Burr last night dressed like an out-of-shape Jerry Seinfeld.
What?
So like... Yeah, I wrote back. I can't say what I wrote back. I wrote back.
You did?
So and so. Yeah, it's like, why don't you heckle me when you're there?